Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We're continuing our reading of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and happily so. We're at Madhya Leela chapter 8, entitled Talks Between the Lord and Ramananda Roy. We're taking up at text number 288. I have now converted my body and mind into the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani. Thus I am tasting my own personal sweetness. Purport. Gaurasundar here informed Sri Ramananda Roy, my dear Ramananda Roy, you are actually seeing a separate person with a fair complexioned body. Actually, I am not fair. Being Sri Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, I am blackish. But when I come in touch with Srimati Radharani, I become fair complexioned externally. Srimati Radharani does not touch the body of anyone but Krishna. I taste my own transcendental features by accepting the complexion of Srimati Radharani. Without Radharani, one cannot taste the transcendental pleasure of Krishna's conjugal love. In this regard, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments on the Prakrita Sahajya Sampradaya, which considers Krishna and Lord Chaitanya to possess different bodies. They misinterpret the word Gauranga Nahe Mor in text 287. From that verse and the present verse, we can understand that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Krishna. Both are the same Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Krishna. The Lord enjoys spiritual bliss and remains the shelter of all devotees, Vishaya Vigraha. And in his Gauranga feature, Krishna tastes separation from Krishna in the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani. This ecstatic form is Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Sri Krishna is always the transcendental reservoir of all pleasure, and he is technically called Dhira Lalita. Srimati Radharani is the embodiment of spiritual energy, personified as ecstatic love for Krishna. Therefore, only Krishna can touch her. The Dhira Lalita aspect is not seen in any other form of the Lord, including Vishnu and Narayan. Srimati Radharani is therefore known as Govinda Nandini and Govinda Mohini, for she is the only source of transcendental pleasure for Sri Krishna, and the only person who can enchant his mind. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then admitted to his pure devotee, Ramananda Roy, now there is no confidential activity unknown to you. Even though I try to conceal my activities, you can understand everything in detail by virtue of your advanced love for me. The Lord then requested Ramananda Roy, keep all these talks a secret. Please do not expose them anywhere and everywhere. Since my activities appear to be like those of a madman, people may take them lightly and laugh. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, indeed, I am a madman, and you are also a madman. Therefore, we are all on the same platform. Okay. Thank you. Got it. All these conversations between Ramananda Roy and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear ludicrous to a common man who is not a devotee. The entire world is filled with material conceptions, and people are unable to understand these conversations due to the conditioning of mundane philosophy. Those who are overly attached to mundane activities cannot understand the ecstatic conversations between Ramananda Roy and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Consequently, the Lord requested that Ramananda Roy keep all these conversations secret and not expose them to the general populace. If one is actually advanced in Krishna consciousness, he can understand these confidential talks. Otherwise, they may appear crazy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore informed Ramananda Roy that they both appeared like madmen and were therefore on the same platform. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 269. Yanisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisha pashato mune. What is night for all beings is a time of awakening for the self-controlled, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. Sometimes Krishna consciousness appears like a type of madness to mundane people, just as the activities of mundaners are considered a form of madness by Krishna conscious men. For 10 nights, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy spent a happy time discussing the pastimes of Krishna. The conversations between Ramananda Roy and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu contain the most confidential subject matters, touching on the conjugal love between Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, Brajabhumi. Although they talked at great length about these pastimes, they could not reach the limit of discussion. Actually, these conversations are like a great mine where from a single place one can extract all kinds of metals, copper, bell metal, silver and gold, and also touchstone, the basis of all metals. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives the following summary of the conversations between Ramananda Roy and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ramananda Roy replied to 5 questions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and these questions and their replies are recorded in verses 57 through 67. The first answer is compared to copper, the second to a better metal, bell metal, the third to a still better metal, silver, and the fourth to the best metal of all, gold. But the fifth answer is compared to the most valuable gem, touchstone, because it deals with unalloyed devotion, the ultimate goal of devotional life, and illuminates the preceding 4 subordinate answers. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur points out that in Vrajabhumi there is the Jamuna river with its shady banks. There are kadamba trees, cows, Krishna's sticks with which he herds cows, and Krishna's flute. All of these belong to Shantarasa, the mellow of neutrality in devotional service. There are also the direct servants of Krishna, such as Chitrak, Patrak, and Raktak, and these are the embodiments of service in the mellow of servitude. There are also friends like Sridhama and Sudama, who embodied service in fraternity. Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda are the embodiments of parental love. Above all these are Srimati Radharani and her assistants, the gopis Lolita, Vishaka, and others, who embody conjugal love. In this way, all 5 mellows, Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya, exist eternally in Vrajabhumi. They are also compared respectively to copper, bell metal, silver, gold, and touchstone, the basis of all metals. Srila Kaviraj Goswami therefore refers to a mine eternally existing in Vrindavan, Vrajabhumi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy worked like miners, excavating all kinds of valuable metals, each one better than the other. Their questions and answers are exactly like that. The next day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu begged Ramananda Roy to give him permission to leave. And at the time of farewell, the Lord gave him the following orders. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, give up all material engagements and come to Jagannath Puri. I will return there very soon after finishing my tour and pilgrimage. The 2 of us shall remain together at Jagannath Puri and happily pass our time discussing Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then embraced Sri Ramananda Roy, and after sending him back to his home, the Lord took rest. After rising from bed the next morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the local temple, where there was a deity of Hanuman. After offering him obeisances, the Lord departed for South India. Purport: in almost all the cities and towns of India there are temples of Hanumanji, the eternal servant of Lord Ramachandra. There is even a temple of Hanuman near Govindaji temple in Vrindavan. Formerly this temple was in front of the Gopalaji temple, but the Gopalaji deity went to Orissa to remain as Sakshi Gopal. Being the eternal servant of Lord Ramachandra, Hanumanji has been respectfully worshipped for many hundreds of thousands of years. Here even Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu set the example in showing how one should offer respects to Hanumanji. All the residents of Vidyanagar were of different faiths, but after seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they abandoned their own faiths and became Vaishnavas. When Ramananda Roy began to feel separation from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was overwhelmed. Meditating on the Lord, he gave up all his material business. I have briefly described the meeting between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy. No one can actually describe this meeting exhaustively. It is even impossible for Lord Sheshnaga, who has thousands of hoods. The activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are like condensed milk, and the activities of Ramananda Roy are like large quantities of sugar candy. Their meeting is exactly like a mixture of condensed milk and sugar candy. When they talk of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, camphor is added. One who tastes this combined preparation is most fortunate. This wonderful preparation has to be taken orally. If one takes it, he becomes greedy to relish it further. By hearing the talks between Ramananda Roy and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one becomes enlightened with the transcendental knowledge of the mellows of Radha and Krishna's pastimes. Thus one can develop unalloyed love for Krishna, the lotus feet of Radha, love for the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. The author requests every reader to hear these talks with faith and without argument. By studying them in this way, one will be able to understand the confidential truth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This part of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes is most confidential. One can derive benefit quickly only by faith. Otherwise, by arguing, one will always remain far away. He who has accepted as everything the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Prabhu can attain this transcendental treasure. Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that Krishna is obtainable for the faithful, but those who are accustomed to argue, for them, Krishna is far, far away. Similarly, these talks between Ramananda Roy and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can be understood by a person who has firm faith. Those who are not in the disciplic succession, the Asauta-pantis, cannot have faith in these talks. They are always doubting and engaging in mental concoctions. These talks cannot be understood by such whimsical people. Transcendental topics remain far, far away from those engaged in mundane arguments. In this regard, the Vedic mantras in the Katha Upanishad state, Naisha Tarakena Matir Apaneya Proktan Yenaiva Su Janaya Preshta. According to the Mundaka Upanishad, Nayamatma Pravachanena Labhyo Namedayana Bahuna Shtena Yami Vaisha Vrinute Tena Labhyas Tasyaisha Atma Vravinute Tanum Swam. And according to the Brahma Sutra 2.111, Tarka Pratishtana. All Vedic literatures declare that transcendental subjects cannot be understood simply by argument or logic. Tarka. So it means don't be a tarky. Spiritual matters are far above experimental knowledge. Only by Krishna's mercy can one who is interested in his transcendental loving affairs understand them. If one tries to understand these transcendental topics simply by using one's material brain substance, the attempt will be futile. Whether one is a prakrita sahaja or a mundane opportunist or scholar, one's labor to understand these topics by mundane means will ultimately be frustrated. One therefore has to give up all mundane attempts and try to become a pure devotee of Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. When a devotee follows the regulative principles, the truth of these talks will be revealed to him. This is confirmed in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Atash Krishna namadi nabhaved grayam indriyai seva mukhi jivado swayameva spuratyada. One cannot understand the Lord's holy name, pastimes, form, qualities, or entourage with one's blunt material senses. However, when the senses are purified by the constant rendering of service, the spiritual truth of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna is revealed. As confirmed in the Mundaku Upanishad Yame Vaisha, Vrinute Tena Labhyas, only one who is favored by the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead can understand the transcendental features of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I offer 10 million obeisances unto the lotus feet of Sri Ramananda Roy, because from his mouth such spiritual information has been expanded by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I have tried to preach the pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's meeting with Ramananda Roy in accordance with the notebooks of Sri Swarup Damodar. At the end of every chapter, the author admits the value of the disciplic succession. He never claims to have written this transcendental literature by carrying out research work. He simply admits his indebtedness to the notes taken by Swarup Damodar, Raghunath Das Goswami, and other authoritative persons. This is the way of writing transcendental literatures, which are never meant for so-called scholars and research workers. The process is Mahajuna Yena Katasa Panta. One has to strictly follow the great personalities and acharyas. Acharya Van Purusho Veda. One who has the favor of the acharya knows everything. This statement made by Kaviraj Goswami is very valuable for all pure devotees. Sometimes the Prakrita Sahajas claim that they have heard the truth from their guru, but one cannot have transcendental knowledge simply by hearing from a guru who is not bona fide. The guru must be bona fide, and he must have heard from his own bona fide guru. Only then will his message be accepted as bona fide. Lord Krishna confirms this in the Bhagavad Gita 4.1. Sri Bhagavan imam vibhasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam vivaswan manave praha manur iksha kave bravit. The Supreme Lord said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku. In this way, the message is transmitted in the bona fide spiritual disciplic succession from bona fide spiritual master to bona fide student. Srila Kaviraj Goswami, therefore, as usual, concludes this chapter by reasserting his faith in the lotus feet of the six Goswamis. Thus he is able to set forth this transcendental literature, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Shri Rup Raghunath Pade Jar Ash, Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Das, praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath. Always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 8, describing the talks between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Roy. Bravo! Bravissimo! Jai, Jai! Sadhu, Sadhu! Hari, Hari! Chapter 9. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's travel to holy places. A summary of the 9th chapter is given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur after leaving Vidyanagra. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited such places of pilgrimage as Gautami Ganga, Mallikarjuna, Ahovalana Shringa, Siddhavata, Skandashetra, Trinath, Vridakashi, Bodhistan, Tirupati Tirumala, Pananashringa, Shivakanchi, Vishnukanchi, Trikalahasti, Vridaloka, Siali Bhairavi, and Kaveri River, and Kumbhakarna Kapala. Finally, the Lord went to Sri Rangashetra, where he converted a Brahmana named Venkatabhata, who, along with his family, took up devotional service to Krishna. After leaving Sri Ranga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reached Rishabha Parvata, where he met Paramananda Puri, who later arrived at Jagannath Puri. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then proceeded farther, arriving at Setubandha Rameshwara. At Sri Shaila Parvat, the Lord met Lord Shiva and his wife Durga in the dress of a Brahmin and a Brahmini. From there he went to Kamakoshti Puri and later arrived at southern Mathura. A Brahmana devotee of Lord Ramachandra talked with him. Then the Lord took his bath in the river Kritamala. On the hill known as Mahendra Shaila, the Lord saw Parusharama. Then the Lord went to Setubandha and took his bath at Dhanus Tirtha. He also visited Rameshwara, where he collected some papers connected with Sita Devi, whose illusory form had been kidnapped by Ravana. The Lord next visited the places known as Pandavadesh, the Tamraparni River, Nayatripati, Chiyadatala, Tilakanshi, Gajendra Mokshana, Panagari, Chamatpur, Shivaikuntha, Malaya Parvat, and Kanyakumari. The Lord then confronted the Bhattaharis at Malaria Desh and saved Kalakrishnadas from their clutches. The Lord also collected the Brahma Samhita, 5th chapter, on the banks of the Payasvini river. He then visited Payasvini, Shringavera Puri Mat, and Matsyatirtha. At the village of Udupi, he saw the Gopal deity installed by Sri Madhvacharya. He then defeated the Tattvavadis in Shastra conversation. The Lord next visited Palgutirtha, Tritakupa, Panchasara, Surpanaka, and Kolapur. At Pandarapur, the Lord received news from Sri Rangapuri that Shankararanya Vishwarup had disappeared there. He then went to the banks of the Krishna Venva river, where he collected from among the Vaishnava Brahmanas a book written by Bilamangal Thakur, Sri Krishna Karnamrita. The Lord then visited Tapi, Mahishmatipura, in Narmada river, and Rishyamukha Parvat. He entered Dandakaranya and liberated 7 palm trees. From there he visited a place known as Pampa Sarovara and visited Panchavati, Nasik, Ramagiri, and also the source of the Godavari river, Kushavarta. Thus the Lord visited almost all the holy places in South India. He finally returned to Jagannath Puri by taking the same route after visiting Vidyanagara. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted the inhabitants of South India. These people were as strong as elephants, but they were in the clutches of the crocodiles of various philosophies, such as the Buddhist, Jain, and Mayavadi philosophies. With his disc of mercy, the Lord delivered them all by converting them into Vaishnavas, Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Purport: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's converting the people of South India into Vaishnavas is compared herein to the Lord's delivering Gajendra, the elephant, from the attack of the crocodile. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited southern India, almost all the residents were within the jaws of the crocodile of Buddhist, Jain, and Mayavadi philosophy. Here Kaviraj Goswami states that all these people were as strong as elephants. They were almost in the clutches of death because they were being attacked by the crocodiles of various philosophies. However, just as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the form of Vishnu saved the elephant, Gajendra, from the clutches of a crocodile, so he saved all the people of South India from the clutches of various philosophies by converting them into Vaishnavas. Jai Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai. All glories to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Sri Advaita Prabhu, and all glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tour of South India was certainly very extraordinary because he visited many thousands of places of pilgrimage there. On the plea of visiting all those holy places, the Lord converted many thousands of residents and thus delivered them. Simply by touching the holy places, he made them into great places of pilgrimage. Purport: it is said, Tirti kurvanti tirtani. A tirtha or holy place is a place where great saintly personalities visit or reside. Although the holy places were already places of pilgrimage, they were all purified by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's visit. Many people go to these holy places and leave their sinful activities there, thus becoming free from contamination. When these contaminations pile up, they are counteracted by the visit of great personalities like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his strict followers. Many kinds of patients come to a hospital which may be infected by many types of disease. Actually, the hospital is always infected, but the expert physician keeps the hospital sterilized by his expert presence and management. Similarly, places of pilgrimage are always infected by the sins left by sinners who go there. But when a personality like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visits such a place, all contaminations vanish. I cannot chronologically record all the places of pilgrimage visited by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I can only summarize everything by saying that the Lord visited all holy places, right and left, coming and going. Because it is impossible for me to record all these places in chronological order, I will simply make a token gesture of recording them. As previously stated, all the residents of the villages visited by Lord Chaitanya became Vaishnavas and began to chant Hari and Krishna. In this way, in all the villages visited by the Lord, everyone became a Vaishnav, a devotee. Purport: the holy names of Krishna and Hari, or the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, are so spiritually powerful that even today, as our preachers go to remote parts of the world, people immediately begin chanting Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. There cannot be anyone who can compare to him in his potencies. However, because we are following in his footsteps and are also chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the effect is almost as potent as during the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Our preachers mainly belong to European and American countries, yet by the grace of Lord Chaitanya they have tremendous success. Wherever they go, open branches. Indeed, everywhere people are very seriously chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare. In South India, there were many types of people. Some were philosophical speculators, and some were fruitive workers. But in any case, there were innumerable non-devotees. By the influence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all these people abandoned their own opinions and became Vaishnavas, devotees of Krishna. At the time, all the South Indian Vaishnavas were worshippers of Lord Ramachandra. Some were Tattvavadis and some were followers of Ramanuja Acharya. Purport: Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur points out that the word Tattvavadi refers to the followers of Srila Madhvacharya. To distinguish his disciplic succession from the Mayavadi followers of Shankaracharya, Srila Madhvacharya named his party Tattvavadis. Impersonal monists are always attacked by these Tattvavadis, who attempt to defeat their philosophy of impersonalism. Generally, they establish the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, the disciplic succession of Madhvacharya is known as the Brahma Vaishnav sect. That is the sect coming down from Lord Brahma. Consequently, the Tattvavadis, or followers of Madhvacharya, do not accept the incident of Lord Brahma's illusion, which is recorded in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Madhvacharya has purposefully avoided commenting on that portion of Srimad Bhagavatam in which Brahma Mohana, the illusion of Lord Brahma, is mentioned. Srila Madhavendra Puri was one of the acharyas in the Tattvavad disciplic succession, and he established the ultimate goal of transcendentalism to be attainment of pure devotional service, love of Godhead. Those Vaishnavas belonging to the Gaudiya Sampradaya, the disciplic succession following Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, are distinct from the Tattvavadis, although they belong to the same Tattvavad Sampradaya. The followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are therefore known as the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. The word Pashandi refers to those who are opposed to pure devotional service. In particular, these are the Mayavadis, the impersonalists. A definition of Pashandi is given in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, wherein is stated, Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Daivatai Samatvenaiva Viksheta Sapashandi Vavedruvam. A Pashandi is one who thinks that the Supreme Lord Narayan, the personality of Godhead, is on the same level with the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. A devotee never considers Lord Narayan to be on the same platform with Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. The Madhvacharya Sampradaya and Ramanuja Sampradaya are mainly worshippers of Lord Ramachandra, although the Sri Vaishnavas are supposed to be worshippers of Lord Narayan and Lakshmi, and the Tattvavadis are supposed to be worshippers of Lord Krishna. At present, in most of the monasteries belonging to the Madhva Sampradaya, Lord Ramachandra is worshipped. In the book known as Adhyatma Ramayan, there are statements in chapter 12 to 15 about worshipping the deities of Sri Ramachandra and Sita. There it is stated that during Lord Ramachandra's time, there was a Brahmana who took a vow to fast until he saw Lord Ramachandra. Sometimes due to business, Lord Ramachandra was absent from his capital for a full week and could not be seen by the citizens during that time. Because of his vow, the Brahmana could not take even a drop of water during that week. Later, after 8 or 9 days, when the Brahmana could see Lord Ramachandra personally, he would break his fast. Upon observing the Brahmana's rigid vow, Lord Sri Ramachandra ordered his younger brother Lakshman to deliver a pair of Sitaram deities to the Brahmana. The Brahmana received the deities from Sri Lakshmanaji and worshipped them faithfully as long as he lived. At the time of his death, he delivered the deities to Sri Hanumanji, who for many years hung them around his neck and served them with all devotion. After many years, when Hanumanji departed on the hill known as Gandhamadana, he delivered the deities to Bhimasena, one of the Pandavas, and Bhimasena brought them to his palace, where he kept them very carefully. The last king of the Pandavas, Shaimakanta, worshipped the deities in that place. Later, the same deities were kept in the custody of the kings of Orissa, known as the Gajapatis. One of the acharyas, known as Narhar Tirtha, who is in disciplic succession of Madhvacharya, received these deities from the king of Orissa. I was thinking I was going to say, then Indradyumna Maharaj got him. It may be noted that these particular deities of Ram and Sita have been worshipped from the time of King Ikshvaku. Indeed, they were worshipped by the royal princes even before the appearance of Lord Ramachandra. Later, during Lord Ramachandra's presence, the deities were worshipped by Lakshman. It is said that just 3 months before his disappearance, Sri Madhvacharya received these deities and installed them in the Udupi temple. Since then, the deities have been worshipped by the Madhvacharya Sampradaya at that monastery. As far as the Sri Vaishnavas are concerned, beginning with Ramanujacharya, they also worship deities of Sitaram. Sitaram deities are also being worshipped in Tirupati and other places. From the Sri Ramanuja Sampradaya, there is another branch known as Ramanandi or Ramat, and the followers of that branch also worship deities of Sitaram very rigidly. The Ramanuja Sampradaya Vaishnavas prefer the worship of Lord Ramachandra to that of Radha Krishna. After meeting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all those different Vaishnavas became devotees of Krishna and began chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. O Lord Ramachandra, descendant of Maharaj Raghu, kindly protect me. O Lord Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon, kindly protect me. While walking on the road, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to chant this Ram Raghava mantra. Chanting in this way, he arrived at the banks of the Gautami Ganga and took his bath there. The Gautami Ganga is a branch of the river Godavari. Formerly, a great sage named Gautama Rishi used to live on the bank of this river opposite the city of Rajamahendri, and consequently this branch was called the Gautami Ganga. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Srila Kaviraj Goswami has recorded the names of the holy places visited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but that there is no chronological order of the places visited. However, there is a notebook of Govinda Dasas containing a chronological order and references to geographical positions. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur requests the readers to refer to that book. According to Govinda Das, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Tirumala from the Gautami Ganga. From there he went to Dundiram Tirtha, another place of pilgrimage. According to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, after visiting the Gautami Ganga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Malik Arjun Tirtha. Keep up. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went to Malik Arjun Tirtha and saw the deity of Lord Shiva there. He also induced all the people to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Malik Arjuna is also known as Sri Shaila. It is situated about 100 miles northeast of Karnula on the southern bank of the Krishna River. There are great walls all around the village, and within the walls reside the deity known as Malik Arjuna. It is a deity of Lord Shiva and is one of the Jyotirlingas. There he saw Mahadev, Shiva, the servant of Lord Ram. He then went to Ahovala Nrsinga. Upon seeing the Ahovala Nrsinga deity, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered many prayers unto the Lord. He then went to Siddhavata, where he saw the deity of Ramachandra, the Lord of Sita Devi. Purport: Siddhavata, also known as Siddhauta, is 10 miles east of the village of Kudapa. Previously, this place was also known as the southern Benares. There is a great banyan tree there, and it is therefore known as Siddhavata. Vata means banyan tree. Upon seeing the deity of Lord Ramachandra, the descendant of King Raghu, the Lord offered his prayers and obeisances. Then a Brahmana invited the Lord to take lunch. The Brahmana constantly chanted the holy name of Ramachandra. Indeed, but for the chanting of Lord Ramachandra's holy name, that Brahmana did not speak a word. That day, Lord Chaitanya remained there and accepted prasadam in his house. After bestowing mercy upon him in that way, the Lord proceeded ahead. At the holy place known as Skanda Kshetra, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the temple of Skanda. From there he went to Trimat, where he saw the Vishnu deity Trivikrama. After visiting the temple of Trivikrama, the Lord returned to Siddhavata, where he again visited the house of the Brahmana, who is now constantly chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. After finishing his lunch there, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the Brahmana, "My dear friend, kindly tell me what your position is now. Formerly you were constantly chanting the holy name of Lord Ram. Why are you now constantly chanting the holy name of Krishna?" The Brahmana replied, "This is all due to your influence, sir. After seeing you, I have lost my lifelong practice. From my childhood I have been chanting the holy name of Lord Ramachandra, but upon seeing you I chanted the holy name of Lord Krishna just once. Since then the holy name of Krishna has been tightly fixed upon my tongue. Indeed, since I have been chanting the holy name of Krishna, the holy name of Lord Ramachandra has gone far away. From my childhood I have been collecting the glories of the holy name from revealed scriptures. Ramante yogino nante satyananda chidatmani iti rama padena sao param brahma badiyate. The Supreme Absolute Truth is called Rama because the transcendentalists take pleasure in the unlimited true pleasure of spiritual existence. This is the 8th verse of the Shatanam Stotra of Lord Ramachandra, which is found in the Padma Purana. The word Krish is the attractive feature of the Lord's existence, and Na means spiritual pleasure. When the verb Krish is added to the affix Na, it becomes Krishna. Does it not? It does. Try it out. There you have it. Which indicates the absolute truth. This is a verse from the Mahabharata, Ud Yoga Parva 71.4. As far as the holy names of Rama and Krishna are concerned, they are on an equal level, but for further advancement we receive some specific information from the revealed scriptures. Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Pistulyam Rama Nama Varanane. Lord Shiva addressed his wife Durga, O Varanana, I chant the holy name of Rama, 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 and thus enjoy this beautiful sound. This holy name of Ramachandra is equal to 1,000 holy names of Lord Vishnu. This is a verse from the Brihad Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra in the Uttarakanda of the Padma Purana. Sahasranam nam punyanam tri avitriyatu yat palam ekavritya tu krishnasya name kantat pradakshati. The pious results derived from chanting the 1,000 names of Vishnu 3 times can be attained by only one utterance of the holy name of Krishna. This verse, 3, 2, 1. Krishna! This verse from the Brahmanda Purana is found in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita by Rupa Goswami. Simply by chanting the name of Krishna once, one can attain the same results achieved by chanting the holy name of Rama 3 times. According to the statement of the Shastras, the glories of the holy name of Krishna are unlimited. Still, I could not chant his holy name. Please hear the reason for this. My worshipable Lord has been Lord Ramachandra, and by chanting his holy name, I received happiness. Because I received such happiness, I chanted the holy name of Lord Ram day and night. By your appearance, Lord Krishna's holy name also appeared, and at that time the glories of Krishna's name awoke in my heart. Sir, you are that Lord Krishna himself. That is my conclusion. Saying this, the Brahmana fell down at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After showing mercy to the Brahmana, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left the next day and arrived at Vridakashi, where he visited the temple of Lord Shiva. Vridakashi's present name is Vridachalam. It is situated in the southern Arcot district of the bank of the river, on the bank of the Rinda River, Manimukha. This place is also known as Kalahastipura. Lord Shiva's temple there was worshipped for many years by Govinda, the cousin of Ramanujacharya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then left Vridakashi and proceeded further. In one village he saw that most of the residents were Brahmanas, and he took his rest there. Due to the influence of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many millions of men came just to see him. Indeed, the assembly, being unlimited, its members could not be counted. Oh, my bookmark came out. What number was it? 259? My God. Goodness gracious. Where was I? 41? The Lord's bodily features were very beautiful. In addition, he was always in the ecstasy of love of Godhead. Simply by seeing him, everyone began chanting the holy name of Krishna, and thus everyone became a Vaishnava devotee. There are many kinds of philosophers. Some are logicians who follow Gautama or Kanada. Some follow the Mimamsa philosophy of Jaimini. Some follow the Mayavad philosophy of Shankaracharya, and others follow Kapila's Sankhya philosophy or the mystic yoga system of Patanjali. Some follow the Smriti Shastra composed of 20 religious scriptures, and others follow the Puranas and the Tantra Shastras. In this way, there are many different types of philosophers. All of these adherents of various scriptures were ready to present the conclusions of their respective scriptures, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu broke all their opinions to pieces and established his own cult of bhakti based on the Vedas, Vedanta, and Brahma Sutra, and the philosophy of Achinta Bhed Abhed Tattva. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established the devotional cult everywhere. No one could defeat him. Being thus defeated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all these philosophers and their followers entered into his cult. In this way, Lord Chaitanya made South India into a country of Vaishnavas. When the non-believers heard of the erudition of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they came to him with great pride, bringing their disciples with them. One of them was a leader of the Buddhist cult and was a very learned scholar. To establish the 9 philosophical conclusions of Buddhism, he came before the Lord and began to speak. Although the Buddhists are unfit for discussion and should not be seen by Vaishnavas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to them just to decrease their false pride. The scriptures of the Buddhist cult are chiefly based on argument and logic, and they contain 9 chief principles. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated the Buddhists in their argument, they could not establish their cult. We'll take a few reflections or questions. Nothing on the inside. Let's look for the outside people's party. Nothing on the outside. Okay, we're continuing. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur states that according to the Buddhist cult, there are 2 ways of understanding philosophy. One is called Hinayana, and the other is called Mahayana. Among the Buddhist path, there are 9 principles. 1, the creation is eternal, therefore there is no need to accept a creator. 2, this cosmic manifestation is false. 3, I am is the truth. 4, there is repetition of birth and death. 5, Lord Buddha is the only source of understanding the truth. 6, the principle of nirvana or annihilation is the ultimate goal. 7, the philosophy of Buddha is the only philosophical path. 8, the Vedas are compiled by human beings. And 9, pious activities showing mercy to others and so on are advised. No one can attain the absolute truth by argument. One may be very expert in logic, and another person may be even more expert in the art of argument. Because there is so much word jugglery in logic, one can never come to the real conclusion about the absolute truth by argument. The followers of the Vedic principles understand this. However, it is seen here that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated the Buddhist philosophy by argument. Those who are preachers in ISKCON will certainly meet many people who believe in intellectual arguments. Many of these people do not believe in the authority of the Vedas. Nevertheless, they accept intellectual speculation and argument. Therefore, the preachers of Krishna consciousness should be prepared to defeat others by argument, just as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. In this verse it is clearly said, Tarake Kandila Prabhu. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put forward such a strong argument that the Buddhists could not counter him to establish their cult. Their first principle is that creation has always existed. But if this were the case, there could be no theory of annihilation. The Buddhists maintain that annihilation or dissolution is the highest truth. If the creation eternally exists, there's no question of dissolution or annihilation. This argument is not very strong because by practical experience, we see that material things have a beginning, a middle, and an end. The ultimate aim of the Buddhist philosophy is to dissolve the body. This is proposed because the body has a beginning. Similarly, the entire cosmic manifestation is also a gigantic body. But if we accept the fact that it will always exist, there can be no question of annihilation. Therefore, the attempt to annihilate everything in order to attain zero is an absurdity. By our own practical experience, we have to accept the beginning of creation. And when we accept the beginning, we must accept a creator. Such a creator must possess an all-pervasive body, as pointed out in the Bhagavad Gita 13:14. Sarvata panipadam tat, sarvato shishiro mukham, sarvata shrutimal loke, sarvam avrita tishtati. Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads, and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the Supersoul exists, pervading everything. The Supreme Person must be present everywhere. His body existed before the creation. Otherwise, he could not be the Creator. If the Supreme Person is a created being, there can be no question of a Creator. The conclusion is that the cosmic manifestation is certainly created at a certain time, and the Creator existed before the creation. Therefore, the Creator is not a created being. The Creator is Param Brahman, or the Supreme Spirit. Matter is not only subordinate to Spirit, but is actually created on the basis of Spirit. When the Spirit soul enters the womb of a mother, the body is created by material ingredients supplied by the mother. Everything is created in the material world, and consequently, there must be a Creator who is the Supreme Spirit and who is distinct from matter. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that the material energy is inferior and that the spiritual energy is the living entity. Both inferior and superior energies belong to the same person. Everyone okay? Yes. The Buddhists argued that the world is false, but this is not valid. The world is temporary, but it is not false. As long as we have the body, we must suffer the pleasures and pains of the body, even though we are not the body. We may not take these pleasures and pains very seriously, but they are factual nonetheless. We cannot actually say that they are false. If the bodily pains and pleasures were false, the creation would be false also. And consequently, no one would take very much interest in it. The conclusion is that the material creation is not false or imaginary, but it is temporary. The Buddhists maintain that the principle of I am is the ultimate truth, but this excludes the individuality of I and you. If there is no I and you, or individuality, there is no possibility of argument. The Buddhist philosophy depends on argument, but there can be no argument if one simply depends on I am. There must be a you or another person also. The philosophy of duality, the existence of the individual soul and the supersoul, must be there. This is confirmed in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita 2:12, wherein the Lord says, Natve vaham jatu nasam, natvam nemi janadipa, nachaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayam ataparam. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. This morning I had a call with the devotees on the left side of the globe, Oceania, far east. So we divide the planet into two parts because of time difference. So we can present the results of the Bhadra Purnima. Devotees in each of those areas make videos as an offering to Prabhupada. And we play those videos as the devotees offer the results of their Bhadra campaign in each part of the world. So this morning we had Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Japan, where else? And tonight we have a lot more. United States, Canada, Europe, India, etc., etc., South America will be reporting in. It starts at 7. And so I'm stopping a little early so we can finish cleaning the room and all that stuff. And I can get a hotspot going and get on the call at 7 o'clock. How did you like the reading today? Really? All right. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatapa, Shri Shri Gauditai, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram, Shri Shri Radhesham. If you so desire, please give us the power of Lord Chaitanya to defeat all other philosophical systems without using Vedanta or Praman, only using logic and argument based on Lord Chaitanya's principles of logic also. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Gaur Premanande. Nitai Gaura Haribo. 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo. 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Vanchakalpadrishya kripa sindhave vichapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare